Take two. Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of Best Rivals. I'm once again joined by Ben and Cutie. Say hello, Ben.
Hello.
Say hello, Cutie.
Hello.
And what are we going to be talking about today?
We're going to be deciding who as the title of the podcast is, we're going to be deciding who the best rival in Pokemon is.
Objectively, right? This is like the one true, unless a better one comes out later.
Yeah, we could say both, like who our favorite, who we have a soft spot for, and then who we think like the objective best one is.
But we are deciding factually.
Yes.
I don't know all the rivals,
Factually.
so
Yeah. Again,
I've
it's
put a
touchy
picture.
subject.
Yeah, it's a bit of a touchy subject because it also the term rival is also a bit subjective because like Lily's not on this list, but does she count?
Like barely battler ever, so I don't think so. No.
Yeah.
So what? That's a fair thing to set out. Is what is the criteria of being a rival? Is it just someone you regularly battle throughout the region?
It is. Yeah. Sorry.
It's usually the NPC that you start the game with, and you're on the same kind of like journey at the same time.
Okay.
And it's really just like a measuring stick as you're playing through the game to make sure that you're keeping up or falling behind.
There are some differences, like Wally doesn't start at the same time as you. He starts a bit later, but you finish your journey roughly the same time as him.
Yeah. Okay.
Tierno and Trevor aren't on the same. They're not on the same journey as you from X and Y, but you still battle them quite a few times throughout the story, and they're still gaining progress in their own adventures.
And what distinguishes a good rival?
I think the main one for me is that they push you to be better, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, I can.
Because there's some rivals where it's like, they show up and it's like, I don't really care if I beat you or not. And some rivals show up and it's like, I want to put this person in the dirt. Like, I want to show them how good I've gotten.
Right.
Should also preface that I have not fought all of the rivals because the DLC ones from Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet, not fought them.
So there can be more than one rival per game?
Yeah. So...
And are we
Red and
deciding
Blue
like
have one.
which game has the best rival, or who is the
Who is the best rival?
Okay, so DLC
Look
ones
like we're picking
probably get
If we were-
instantly benched because they're like, post game.
Yeah,
coming
there's-
in.
The DLC rivals, or so to say, are like just contained to the DLC,
Yeah.
and they don't like serve the same purpose as the stereotypical rival would. So I think benching them probably is the best idea. Just forget about them.
I've only played the Sword and Shields DLCs, and I kind of find
You fought Clara or Avery?
yeah, it was the like psychic one with the hat.
Yeah.
But I didn't really see them as a rival. I just kind of saw them as like a bit of like a tour guide. Like they pointed out where next for me to go. I guess rivals do that normally too.
Yeah, even sometimes they are friendly, but you still want to beat them. And sometimes they are mean, but they still point you where to go. Because if you show up at a place and Blue's like, I already beat this gym, better catch up. He's still ribbing you, but he's still also a guide.
I guess in the DLC, for me, it was like, by finding the next quote-unquote rival encounter, I knew I was going the right way. Like, I knew I was progressing in the correct order. If that makes sense. Whereas I guess previous games are more linear.
Yeah, and for Sword and Shield, like they've got the two DLC rivals, as we're calling them, are just gym leaders. That
Right.
aren't good enough. So
Yeah, that aren't like on the circuit or whatever it is.
yes.
Are there many rivals that have like, you know how like gym leaders stick to one type of Pokemon? Are there any rivals that do that? Because to me, rivals usually build their own teams of a combination.
It normally. I think
The
it's
only ones really is Beat, right?
yeah, or whatever. I can't.
Because
Even,
even Marnie... Does Marnie only use Dark types?
I think so, or a majority dark types anyway.
So it's Bede and Marnie would be the only two that would stick to mostly the one type. The rest have a variety.
Are you going to take their Pokemon teams into account?
Personally, I think we should.
Okay.
Because, or by nature of looking at who pushes
I think
you
at the
more,
very least we should take their aces into account.
yeah. Or well, like,
But maybe their whole team could work too.
yeah, team composition has a lot to do with how difficult the battle is.
Yeah. Speaking of difficulty and team competition, can we just immediately out Trace?
Yes, the rival that I
'Cause, yeah.
only found out existed 10 minutes ago.
The rival from Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee who doesn't have 4 moves on his Pokemon when you fight him in the champion fight. He's got 3 moves on most of his Pokemon. And just Blue's team, but with whatever he evolved his Eevee into. Instead of a starter, I think.
I don't even think.
Or does he have a different? He might have a different team, but it's
From the looks of it,
he's
yeah,
he's just worse than Blue.
he doesn't have an evolution on his team.
Does he not?
Nope.
Oh god, he benches his starter.
Or no, sorry, I was looking at the Pikachu one. No, he does.
Oh, okay.
It's a Jolteon. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what, 5 of the however many benched.
Yeah,
How many rivals are there? Do you have a number?
I can count them up here. That is 25.
26. I
Jeez.
counted.
Is it 26? Who didn't I count? Oh, Hugh's doubling. His picture's double the size. Okay, yeah, it's 26.
So we're working with 21 if we've benched 5.
Yes.
Or, no, we've benched like 7 actually.
Could we also bench Tierno and Trevor in that case?
Yeah.
What are they from?
They're from X and Y. X and Y had 4 rivals for you, so they're a little bit saturated.
Jeez. Were there any good ones? from
Tierno's-
X&Y?
There was like
I
what,
don't think there are.
1 decent rival.
There's the player character gender opposite of yours, who's just like sort of blank slate. I want to be the very best. Oh no, you beat me. And they never really grow. Shauna wasn't great either. Didn't hate her. But like Tierno and Trevor are on completely different journeys from you. Tierno wants, I should start with Trevor, because Trevor just cares about completing his Pokedex. He doesn't want to win gym badges and stuff. So he's just catching Pokemon. And Tierno wants to perfect his dance moves.
More power to him.
Now, to be fair as well, everyone barring the kind of like main rival in X and Y, you only really fight like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
And
How many times do you fight the main rival?
I'm not sure. Let me check.
Do you even fight them in Victory Road?
5
Don't
battles.
you fight? Okay. Do you have any candidates for elimination, Michael?
For elimination.
Yeah, is there anyone that you just dislike from the games you've played?
What's the name?
So I have
of your
more.
man
I
from
just
Sword and
wanna-
Shield.
Is it Hop?
Hop, the like champion's
Hop.
little brother. He was
Yeah.
kinda, he was kind of dull
Yeah. His
Isn't
whole
his
arc is like,
to give up, right?
no, it's to change. His whole arc is that I have been copying my brother for years. I'm going to stop copying my brother. But then you fight him for the final time where he's like, I finally stopped copying my brother. And he does Leon's animations. For the before you fight Leon, so you don't know what Leon's animations are, but he's still copying him. And then you find him again. He's like, "Okay, I'm not gonna try to be the champion. I'm going to copy the only other adult in my life and become a Pokemon professor instead." He just all he does is just copy the nearest adult,
Yeah, he was pretty uninteresting.
outside of just being annoying to fight. Because anytime you land like a critical hit or a super effective move, he's like, "Whoa, golly gosh, you know the type chart."
Yeah, you'd swear we weren't playing a children's game.
A children's game that tells you which moves are super effective
Yeah.
as well.
The only thing I liked about Hop was that he like changed his team a lot.
He did. He probably he changes his team. Like that's like one of the things he does every time you beat him. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna build a whole new team," and then he actually does it.
Yeah.
I think that's
So
the only
from
one
that
that
point-
I would complain about. The rest that I played are pretty solid.
Yeah, you played Black and White quite a bit, right?
Yes.
They're all pretty good. I don't think I'd say any of them are the best, but they're pretty good.
Yeah, they don't deserve nominees for benching.
Yeah. Do you have anyone you want to bench?
Not particularly, because I don't want to say something and then get shot down immediately, so I'll just let it go.
Oh, wait, what?
You gotta save it for later.
Yeah, I'll
Okay,
save it for
okay.
later, because I just want to see if somebody says it or not.
Oh no. I feel like a trap has been set for me.
Potentially. We'll see. And if it doesn't come up, I'll say.
Okay. Do you have a favorite then, Michael?
A favorite?
Yeah, not objectively speaking, just who's your favorite?
Who's my favorite? I like. I don't know. I feel like the only one in my head that really grows, like noticeably goes through an arc, is I don't remember his name. I don't really remember any of their names because you can name them, right? In most cases, you can name them. So I always gave them people names. But your man from Black and White 2, who's going after his Pokemon that got stolen.
Yes.
His sister's Pokemon that got stolen.
What's his name?
His name is Hugh. I put
Hugh.
up a picture of all the rivals in the chat.
He's just good. I like his arc. It's interesting. It's
He gets,
challenging for a child, you know.
He gets anime angry. He starts
he's
fucking
up there.
flipping out at Team Plasma. I don't remember how his arc ends though. He's pretty good.
They get the life part, don't they?
Yes, and he's pissed off that it's a live part because it's not
And then you have
annoying.
to, like, rehabilitate it.
Yeah.
Because it's very
it
angry.
doesn't recognize him or something.
Yeah.
But he also has to, like, he goes through the arc of, like, understanding that a lot of the people on Team Plasma
Yep.
are not villains. Like, he finds the person who stole the Pokemon, and it's just, like, a retired guy.
It's one of the sages.
no,
that makes him
The
a
life
villain.
part, the person that had the life part was one of the Shadow Triad, which is way worse.
Was it?
Yeah.
What you're thinking of, like, he speaks to one of the sages that's left Getsus. Is it Zinzalin? Or is he? No, he's still with Getsus.
yeah.
One of the sages that's, like,
Can't remember.
not part of Team Plasma anymore. And he explains their perspective and stuff. And expresses regret for having pained him and his sister. And it sort of they have a moment.
Yeah. I just remember him, like, your man saying, like, oh, I'm sorry for what we did, and the kid being like, well, that's useless to me, and he was like, I can't do anything else.
I was expecting to have to blow this entire building up.
Yeah, it's like, whoa, okay.
John, you want to throw your hat in the ring for Hudie?
Not particularly. Again, I have no, like, strong feelings towards any of the rivals. They're all just a stepping stone on my journey to becoming the best.
I think we just got to keep chipping away and benching more.
Can I put my hat in the ring for two of my favorites, though?
I think save it until we get to that point, you know?
Sure. Okay.
Until they get threatened.
Maybe we could go game by game then. So, and, like, eliminate people so there's only one per game.
Sure.
Yeah. Or just completely eliminate.
Blue, I think, is not a candidate for bench. I think he's pretty good.
Are there any other rivals in Kanto?
No.
Okay.
Well, Trace, but it's Trace.
He's already.
Yeah. Silver's on his own in Gold and Silver. There's Brendan / May and Wally in Ruby Sapphire.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would like to
Oh.
continue.
No, because I'm waiting. Is this where the trap is going to be? Is
Is this what the trap is? I prefer Wally to the other two.
Right. Okay. This is where the trap's being sprung.
Yes. Okay. Excellent.
I don't like the Ruby, Sapphire,
You
Emerald
triggered my trap card.
rivals because I think it would have served better without Wally, because like it would have worked better as one character rather than having like Brendan and May take care of the early game, and then you lost out then because you don't see Wally till like the Victory Road.
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Wally's like a reverse rival. Wally's different.
Yeah.
Brendan and May don't do much. They're like halfway through the game. They're like, "You're just way better than me," and they aren't putting up. It's like Lily Cove's the last time you fight them or something.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Is it?
It's like really early.
The other thing with Brendan and May is that a lot of their battles are optional.
Yeah, you can skip them.
You can just say no.
I think or you can you can not go to where they are. They're like usually standing in a very specific spot. And sometimes you can just say no too, right?
Yeah. Because in Emerald, you don't even fight, what do you call it, Brendan and May, with their like starter and their final evolution.
Oh Jesus!
It's like, no.
So, I like Wally a lot.
What makes you like him?
He starts behind you. You've already started your journey by the time you meet him, and he's like this thickly kid who like looks up to you and stuff. But he does grow throughout the story. He like grows in confidence and stuff, and then he gets to Victory Road before you, like at the very end, and like challenges you, and he's like got a stacked team and stuff.
I just think
he's got a story too.
I think he should have been there more. That's my only gripe with it.
It's a good thing to want though from a rival, to want more of them.
His story is that he's like dying of sickness and lives near 113 that has all the he has an illness, he has a sickness, and he lives near the big ash root with all the falling ash. And so he moves to is it Verendurf, where there's like clean air and stuff, but hates it because he's like cooped up and can't leave. And so he goes off on a Pokemon journey and starts to get better. And also he goes from being this like quiet kid to like being like, no, I want to beat you, and I'm going to. I've come this far, and he's grown in confidence.
As someone who never finished that game, I just remember him as being a dork with a Ralts.
Hey man, that Ralts turns into a Gardevoir and or a Gallade, depending on whether you play the remakes or not.
Yeah. I just don't like the jump from him just having a Ralts to having like a full team. Because, or as I said, I want the rival to be the measuring stick. So you have that like competition going on, but then if you just help this person catch a Ralts and then he shows up before you at Victory Road, he's not really a rival.
But he's like a different measuring stick. He's measuring himself to you. He's catching up to you.
Yeah, so I think he should have measured himself against us a bit more often.
Okay.
Rather than just really twice.
Okay, I love the guy, but objectively speaking, I know he's not the best.
We'll put him.
I would put him as my favorite.
That game. Okay,
sure,
interesting. Sinnoh, his name's
Brad.
No, this is a rival. This is what we wanted.
Oh, this is Yeti's way. Okay.
He's not my favorite character, but as like a gameplay mechanic and the whole measuring stick thing, it was perfect. You're getting hit at like the main like points of progression.
He's like the most diluted rival up until this point in the series, right?
What do you mean by diluted?
Like Blue goes up against you, but Blue's like decent.
Yeah, Silver's also pretty good.
Silver, I don't really remember. I remember him being like an edge boy. Like
there's more to him. We'll get into Silver. I've got words about Silver.
You said that like Wally starts off worse than you and then gets better, whereas Brad, every time you face him, he's like, "All right, you're going down this time," and then you wipe him, and he's like, "Oh boy," and then runs off and comes back again later, and is like, "All right, this time your ass is smoke." Like he's a big trash talker, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I remember anyway.
He is a bit of a shit talker. He's like, every time you fight him, he's like, I'm gonna fine you if you don't beat me in this fight. And then you beat him, and he just runs off.
Does the other rival? I don't remember their names.
Dawn or Lucas. I don't think you fight them ever.
Oh, okay. So Brad.
I don't think they fight. They're just the professor's assistant. Yeah, it's just Barry for
Barry, not Brad. Okay.
Down and Pearl.
The other thing with Barry is that you're also not comparing yourself and himself against each other, but against other people as well. So like
Because
he's
Right, because you have the duo battles. Yeah.
You've got the duo battles, but you've also got the points where he goes and like fights the Team Galactic commanders.
Yeah, he's like, I'll hold him off. You go do this.
Yeah, and then he loses, and you're like, okay, well, I'm stronger than you at this point.
Yeah, and if you're bringing up that as well, he does kind of suck in some of the dual battles.
That's separate because we know
He brings a Munchlax to spear Pillar.
that was a late addition to his team.
He has 5 other Pokemon.
Yeah, he didn't know that there was like a friendship mechanic there too.
So he's the sole candidate for Diamond and
Okay.
Pearl, and Hudie is a big fan.
Again, I could care less about the character. It's more about the way he was used.
The actual
I think
measurements.
Yeah, I think Barry as a person is terrible.
Barry as a game mechanic you like.
Yes.
Okay. How badly did you want to beat him?
He gave me difficulty, or just going back to going through Platinum the first time, in Canalive, where you can't progress unless you beat him on the bridge.
Unless you beat him, he's like on the bridge. Yeah.
Like, okay.
Doesn't he literally say like you can't cross this bridge unless you beat me or something?
So like that kind of thing, having him as like a stopping point as well. I was like, oh, fair enough, you've bet all these gym leaders, but if you don't beat me, you're still not good enough.
Okay, so it's easy enough the first few games where there's like no rivals. Now we're getting into harder to eliminate territory. We got Sharon, Bianca, and N. Do we want to lump Q in with these, or do we want to separate the sequels?
I'd separate them.
Okay.
They're gonna...
I think it's got to be N. I like Sharon and Bianca, but it's got to be N.
It's just the
Like
ramifications.
again,
of-
you encounter him later. You fight him pretty early, right?
Yeah.
You fight him in like the first town in Accumula. So he is still a bit of a measuring stick, and then there's the whole chosen one thing going on.
Does he get a legendary as well? Does he get the
Yep.
other legendary that you get?
He gets it first.
He gets the other legendary, and then you have to go and awaken the other one to fight him.
He tells you, "I'm not fighting you. Go get the other legendary, then we'll fight."
Is he like if I don't remember. I remember like that he has the connection with Team Plasma. But is he on their side or is he against them? I remember his ideal is he wants all Pokemon to be free.
Yeah, he wants all Pokemon to be free, and then Getsis is kind of using him.
Okay. So he's being manipulated. All right.
Yes, like Getsis wants Pokemon to be free so that he can like control the masses and stuff. Whereas N just wants Pokemon to not suffer. And then by encountering you, he's like, "Oh, your Pokemon like really love you, and they would be less happy if they weren't with you."
Well, we can question that.
Well, you can, but N says it, so it must be true.
Okay. And then does does Black and White 2 have more than Hugh, or is he the only rival?
No, it just has you.
Okay. And now we're out of my.
Like,
I have no idea any of the rivals other than Hop, who
Well,
I've already eliminated.
It's all
I kinda
downhill
don't
from
want
here.
any of the X and Y rivals to be. Yeah, I kind of don't want any of the X and Y rivals to be in it.
Is that the one where there's like 5 of them?
Yeah,
We'll nominate
there's
one.
Caleb,
Who's the best
Serena,
one?
Shauna. Probably just the blank slate opposite of you character, the Caleb / Serena.
Yeah, I'd agree. And it's more like there were no real difficult battles against that character.
You can't really call him a rival because you just steamroll him every time.
What about
That's
Sun and
something,
Moon then?
Or I'll just add.
So, could I actually
Oh,
put forward a case for Ultra Sun and Moon How? I hated him in the base games.
Yeah.
He's just Hop, basically. But he actually does have a character arc in Ultra Sun. I thought Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon were worse than the base games because they changed a lot. They took away a lot of like Lily's growth and the Lucamines and stuff. Changed the story a lot. But I think Hao was like the best change they made because he like goes from just you beat him every time you beat him. He's like ah ha ha. So I don't really care. Ah ha ha. He like just doesn't care at all anytime you fight him, but he actually does. Like the third or fourth time you fight him in Ultra Sun, he's like, "Man, my Pokemon kind of is kind of upset that I lost to you," and he starts to become more and more serious. He's like, "I'm like." He's like, I'm actually gonna. He's actually takes it seriously towards the end.
Yeah, sure. He's your
But base game how is not good.
You're like he eventually just turns into your first challenger as champion.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. The opposite of Kanto.
Yep.
Yeah, that is what it is.
That's cool. Does him like his narrative change of I'm gonna take it seriously now? Does he actually get any more difficult?
I think he does it. Well, I think everything gets more difficult in Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. So by proxy, yes.
No, I mean the point in the story when he like has that switch.
Well, he doesn't. Yeah, because he
his team
he doesn't get it to the champion in the first game, right? It's Kukui you fight. I'm pretty sure.
I think
in the base game. But in Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, he does make it. You do fight him at the end. I'm pretty sure it's Kukui you fight in the base game.
And then Sword and Shield out. Just eliminate. Is there any other rivals other than Hop on the DLC? I guess
there's Bede and Marnie, but I don't know.
I remember Marnie. Oh, Bede becomes the gym leader, right? Bede
yes.
Or something? Yeah.
That's
bad that he like. He probably was the coolest, like most interesting one in that game, and I totally forgot his existence.
Because he gets swooped off like after Gym 5 or 6 or something, and then appears right at the end of the game. This is part of the problem when you start having 3 rivals and more, is that it's hard to give screen time to all of them.
Yeah.
As you say, Bede becomes a gym leader. Marnie also becomes a gym leader.
Does she? Yeah. I couldn't remember if she took
Yeah, her brother like retires and she becomes the dark type gym leader.
So are they just there to push Hop? Like, oh, they're taking over for they're taking over gyms that they're suited for. Hop, you know, your brother is the champion, so you should become the champion, and then he like changes course. Is that what's going on there?
That's probably what they wanted to happen. But
right.
Yeah.
It didn't really.
But like you as a player, no, he's not going to become champion because you're going to become champion.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're going to become champion.
Also, Bede is more Hop's rival than yours.
Okay.
Because they fight each other, and Hop like gets depression afterwards.
Damn.
Like for the next 2 or 3 gyms, he is just moping about. Like, man, I hate that Bede guy.
No, at the same time, I think the reason they like added Bede and Marnie were because of the whole like tournament kind of format that they went for, like post game and everything. They wanted.
Oh, Bede isn't in the tournament. He fights you outside of the tournament.
No, I'm talking like post game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because just to add up their numbers.
Okay.
Because
I liked when all the gym leaders came back and got to use like their actual teams.
Yeah.
What about I don't know Scarlet Violet at all?
So the only one on this list is Nemona, but there's also Arven and Penny, but I don't know if I'd count them as rivals.
And they're not DLC specific?
No, they're in the base game. They're Sandwich Guy and Hacker Girl.
Well, like you don't really battle them until the end.
Yeah.
You don't battle them until the end of their story arc, so that's probably why they're not included in this list.
Nemona's extremely one-dimensional, but it did kind of grow on me towards the end.
I could take it or leave it.
Okay, she's definitely not the best. I would like when I say it grew on me, I mean it grew from like slightly above Hop and How to, yeah, she's like, I guess, better than the X and Y ones. But that's not saying much.
So she's also getting benched like Hop.
I think her character-wise terrible, but like battles-wise, it was okay.
Well, yeah,
Okay.
she's pretty strong.
Do I take... So I've written down this list here. Do I take Callum and Serena off?
Yeah, I think you do. So that leaves us with Blue, Silver, Wally, Barry, and Hugh.
How and Nimona.
Did we pick How or Gladian? We picked How?
Yeah.
I don't know if I had Gladian as that much of a rival. Nimona, okay.
He's like N Mark II.
He's not, though. He's really not.
Not as cool.
Yeah.
I just gave him a special Pokemon and said, "There you go, that's your character."
And Type Null is now your character. Enjoy.
So how are we going to decide between these remaining? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
There's 8? Oh, God.
Do we do it on the merit of their character or the merit of their actual teams?
I feel
you
like
wanna
these
go
ones
more
have been
off-
put forward so far because of their character.
So you want to go off teams and stuff? Game mechanics? Also, we haven't discussed Silver. I would like to discuss Silver's character.
Sure.
So, Blue walked so Silver could run, okay? He's the son of Giovanni. He's an absolute POS.
He punches you the first time you talk
He
to him.
punches you.
He
He steals
on the
Pokemon.
professor, right? Yeah.
He breaks into the professor's lab and steals the other star that you don't take. He's awful. He is just awful to you. And then, as you beat him, he's like, "Why are you better? Why are you beating me? I'm stronger. You're just like you're not as strong as I am." And then he starts to realize via like you and your bond with Pokemon and Team Rocket and all that maybe he should start being nice to his Pokemon, and his Golbat evolves into a Crobat because he becomes nice.
Yeah, and he found friends to trade his Kadabra
Yeah.
and Haunter. You know,
So like it's like the switch from his growth
So his
happens
team is
mechanically
tied.
as well.
Yeah, his team's tied to narrative.
His
as well.
growth. Yeah. Unlike Cyrus later on, who's awful and then gets a Crobat anyway.
So let's see. Now this is a big moment. Try not to sweat too much.
Mhm.
Are we gonna take Blue off the list because Silver is staying on? You said
I like
Blue
Silver more than
walked
Blue.
so Silver could run.
I want to put this to Hudi because I would say yes to this.
oh yeah, I would.
That's a big choice.
Without skipping a beat, Silver is better than Blue.
Let's go!
I'm going to compare them. That's pretty easy.
Because he has like most of what Blue has. Like he beats you to every gym. He's like a good trainer. He's strong, but also he does grow.
Mhm.
Blue doesn't really show any sign of change until at the very very end when Oak just basically roasts him.
What about Wally? So does Wally's team mirror
You
his
bring up
narrative?
Wally's
Well, he starts with one Pokemon and then he gets 5. Oh, you know, that's really it. That's all.
Yeah, Wally's narrative is just
Yeah.
becoming healthy. So yes, but also everyone's would do that if that makes sense. There's no like special things that happen like with Silver's team.
Yeah. Okay. So
And
we
even
strike
just,
him out, putting him down.
like Wally's team. I know it's Gen 3, but like he's got a Delcatty and a Roselia.
He's also got an Altari and a Gallade.
Well, yeah, that's 2 out of the 5. That's what 40% of his team are pretty good, and the rest are like, oh, I sneeze at them and they die.
I sneeze at you.
Don't sneeze at Don't sneeze at Wally. Don't sneeze at
Yeah,
Wally.
I sneeze at his Pokemon, then I sneeze at him, and everybody dies. It's
We're
like-
sneezing at him because he's getting benched.
Gone but not forgotten. Love you, my friend. Now, what happens to his team in BDSP? Does something happen, or is it just the Diamond team?
It's probably just a Diamond team.
I don't like shortening Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl to BDSP.
It is not great.
But
His team's pretty good, actually.
Yeah, I like Barry's team. It's one of those like teams that you would build if you were going to like go through it yourself.
What's his team?
Staraptor, And look, this is his team. Okay, well, let me see what the difference is. He always has Staraptor. Float. Does he always have Floatzel? He doesn't. Okay, he's got Staraptor, Heracross, Snorlax, and his starter.
Mm-hmm.
And then 2 of the following 3, Rapidash, Roserade, and Floatzel, depending on what needs filling.
'Cause he looks after type coverage and all that stuff.
Yeah, how does it decide which of those he gets? Is it it's not
It's
based
What
on...
starter you pick.
Oh,
yeah.
okay, cool. So 2 of his Pokemon get chosen based off of your starter?
Yeah.
Well, that happens with almost every rival. There's like the same thing happens with Blue, the same thing happens with Solar. It's whatever starter they get something to cover its weaknesses. They have like 3 Pokemon, and then one of them gets replaced by the starter. So like if you pick Chimchar, then Empoleon replaces his Floatzel. Because he doesn't need 2 water types.
So he's staying on. His team's strong.
Yeah, for now.
He's
what
the
about
son of...
N?
Who's his dad? Lena's Lightning.
Yeah,
And just a good team too, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't N have the thing of, because he thinks all Pokemon should be free, all of his teams are built off of Pokemon from the area you fight him in?
Yeah,
that's
he does do that.
that's true until the end, where he's got
He
the
has
2
an actual
Foxes,
team.
and then he's got a Vanillux and a Klinklang.
That's pretty cool. So is his team completely different every time you fight him until the end?
Yes,
Okay, that's cool. I like that.
yeah, he has a different team every time.
He's also got some Zoroark shenanigans going on.
I'll pass him on that then. What about Hugh?
Hugh, I believe, is also quite strong.
Yeah, mainly because he uses held items. I think.
Is he the
Looks
first
like
to use held items?
Or
I
it
think
might,
so, is it?
it might be post game.
Actually, looking at this isn't great either.
Oh, he's a terrible team. Terrible.
Yeah,
Team.
hang on, wait a second. He has Unpheasant, the Elemental Monkey, so Simipour or Simisage, whichever one. Bouffalant. All 3 of those are good. Flygon's good. I like Electros, and then whatever his starter is also there. So that's 3 of 6.
I think
Or
you're
not great.
you're sleeping on the Bouffalant here.
You think I'm sleeping on Bouffalant?
Yeah.
Okay, then two of his team.
Because Bouffalant's defenses, HP and defenses are all 95, 110 attack.
I'll give you the Bouffalant, but Unpheasant and one of the Simmies.
Well, to be fair, that's like picking up a Starly or a Pidgey or something. They kind of 9 times out of 10 they have like the regional bird.
Have the regional bird.
No, the elemental
The
monkey.
regional bird this time is Unpheasant, though.
Yeah.
Like,
No.
N's team, bangers. Barry's team, all bangers.
No, when you look at it, it is a super luck scope lens holding
Oh.
pheasant. So if only it
Do
was.
you fight him after he gets his sister's Pokemon back, and does he add it to his team?
I don't think he ever uses the Purloin. Or
Put him down.
No, as in, it's not for fighting, it's a pet.
Yeah, that's not his Pokemon. That's his sister, his infant.
Yeah,
sister.
Michael, come on, man.
My God.
Put him down.
No, I think compared to what's come before, he doesn't compare, or he's not on the same level.
And you accept
well,
this?
I accept this, yes. Do you accept this, Michael?
I'll allow it. Put him down.
Who's
How?
next?
Am I saying their name right?
Yeah, How is correct.
Okay.
Are we? Because does his team change much for Sun and Moon?
I can't remember.
This isn't great. I'm not gonna lie, this isn't great.
Yeah, if you're gonna punch down on Hugh with the Bouffalant, you have to punch down on
Yeah,
Hao
Komala.
and his Tauros.
For story purposes, sure, Tauros is fine, but not in like a post game battle.
Finally, Nemona. I'm sorry, you want to say more about how?
I was just gonna say that the Crabominable is a cool looking Pokemon, but that's about all it has going for
His
it.
Decidueye has 3 moves.
Yeah.
I feel like having 3 moves on any Pokemon is a sin and should get eliminated.
Nemona.
Nemona's kind of cooking.
She is,
Nemona's kind of cooking. 2 pseudo legendaries.
Oh, I suppose I think that's DLC, so they upped it a bit.
Oh, is it? Oh, I missed that. Okay. Mesagoza Battle's the one we're looking at then, is it? Oh no, she has a Dunsparce.
Which is... Yes, let's go.
Yeah, Serene Grace. Does Hyperdrill have flinch, or is that's crit chance, right?
It has nothing.
Oh. Okay.
It bypasses the effects of Protect and all that carry on.
So the Serene Grace isn't even doing anything. Coil, though. Gudra, great Pokemon. Lycanroc, good Pokemon. How do you feel about Earthworm?
Earthworm, I think, good Pokemon.
Okay, because I would agree. What about Palmont?
It's just Steelix, but better.
Yeah, with Earth Eater and stuff as well.
Yeah.
It's a Steel type, which means it has great defenses, and then it's also got basically Levitate. Better Levitate. I'm not big on Palmont.
Yeah, I can take it or leave it.
But it's not like Tauros bad. Or Simi Sage bad.
I mean, if you leave her in, that we're still down to 4 now, so her team's strong
Yeah,
now.
I think if we maybe look at the 4 we've got and like compare each of them against each other.
So who have we got? Anne, Silver, Barry, and Nimona?
Yes.
Is it?
Do they all show up in the anime?
Yeah, probably.
I don't know the anime. Yeah, I don't know the anime well enough. Barry does. I know he does. I don't know if Nimona does.
So what other facet can we judge them on?
I'm just thinking comparing like their final teams and everything. Their final teams.
Post game, final teams.
I feel like Silver needs to take a hit.
Here's the problem: Silver is from Gen 2. I agree with you, Yudi. I love the man, right? I love the man. I think he's the best, but he has some poor tools to work with in Gen 2.
Even in Gen 4, when he gets access to Sneasel and Magneton's evolutions...
Yeah, if this was a Weavile and a Magnezone, he's cooking.
Perfect. That's an OUT.
The problem is they didn't exist at that point, is the problem.
Yeah. But they existed in Heart Gold and Soul Silver. You could get them.
Oh, were they? Oh, God. Wait.
You just didn't get them.
Does he not have them in Heart Gold, Soul Silver?
No, you go and do your rematch or whatever, your final rematch with Silver, and he's still got a Sneasel and a Magneton.
Based on that, I think I would... Oh, man.
Put him down, Ben. Put him down. Pull the trigger.
If only he evolved them. If he evolved them, I think he's a candidate.
It's a pretty big mistake to not get your Pokemon to the final evolution, Ben.
Yeah.
Worthy of being...
But the Crobat, the lore... just put him down, man. Just put him down. Get him out of my sight.
No, I don't know what Barry's post-game teams are like. I'll take the Platinum one.
Is it... What is it? After entering Hall of Flame 20 times in the fight area, is that what we're looking at? It's just the same team.
Yeah, it's just the same team. Okay.
Where's Anne's post game stuff? Is like Black and White 2. Which one are we looking at?
This is why I've
wait.
I've been waiting to. I've been sitting on this. Anne's team changes depending on what season you have them in.
Oh my god. Okay.
In spring he has a rain team. In summer he has a sun team. In autumn he has a sand team, and in winter he has a hail team.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Alright.
I was sitting on that and I was like, okay.
Wow!
He hasn't scrolled that far yet. And he doesn't know. But yeah. And then just so we're fair, we'll look at
Nimona's DLC. Yeah. What do you mean so we're fair? We're not taking her into consideration.
Well, no, because she replaces her Gudra with a Kamo. Which,
Oh, no, she replaces it with a starter from a different region, it looks like. She still had the Como in Loyalty Plaza, it looks like. Well, that's DLC.
Yeah, that's DLC as well.
But in the latest DLC, she replaces it with a starter from a different region.
Yeah. Which, that's
isn't the worst thing to replace it with.
Yeah, it's not as cool as having 4 different teams depending
Comparing it to Anne and Barry, that Palmot is letting the team down a little bit. Yeah. If we're going to rag on Silver for not evolving his Pokemon, I think Palmot is just a poor choice.
Nimona, gone.
Damn.
I didn't think Barry was going to make it to the final 2.
Well, I'm very sorry, but I don't think he makes it to the final one.
I don't think he does either. I was looking at the list and I was like,
He's used to that.
I don't want to do the same thing as the which region would you live in, where it says, oh yeah, black and white were like the best games. I was ready to put forward a case for Silver and Wally.
Yeah.
But then I saw Anne and I was like, it can't be. It's gonna be him, isn't it?
Yeah, I was ready to take him down. I had some points to go against him, and then I saw that you guys pointed out his team
Against Anne?
was based on the season, and I was like, well, okay, well, there it is.
I don't even know this. I knew it changed based on where you are, but I didn't know you did this.
I was ready to attack him for having legendaries and be like, that's kind of cheating, and then he has four different teams.
He has it for one fight.
Yeah, listen,
to be fair,
it was grasping at straws.
This does happen in Black 2 White too, where he's not technically the rival, but
yeah. And if you want to rag on him for having legendary for one fight in Pokemon Black and White, aren't you forced to use legendary for that fight as well?
They've literally force you to swap out one of your Pokemon for the legendary.
Yeah, it's lore reasons. You have to have a kaiju fight with him.
Well, at least we got like a top. I'll give it a top 4. So N, Barry, Nemona, and we'll put Silver. We'll get
put Silver in the top 4. Put him in there.
Yeah, we'll make like a stack of papers. So
put him in there.
He's an honorable mention. You got the three on like the podiums, and then you just got Silver standing off the side.
Yeah.
My boy couldn't find a Razor Claw. Give him some slack.
He's too edgy to stand in the spotlight.
All he had to do was grind the battle frontier, That's simple.
Look, where's he going to find an area affected by electromagnetism at this hour, okay?
Probably like Cerulean Cave or something.
That probably is Cerulean Cave or something. Where?
I'm going to check.
Oh, it's the power plant, right?
Or yeah, the power plant either.
We are, of course, completely incorrect, because we are each other's best rivals, because that's the show, folks. Yeah. That's the end of the episode. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I hate saying that.